Credit card debt is at an all-time high, and banks have gotten so creative that they created things like buy now, pay later, Affirm, Klarna. All of these services and all of these systems are just loans in disguise to keep us consistently in debt, and credit cards are probably one of the worst ways. Now, I've talked about all of the good things in credit cards, but unfortunately with the rising cost of living, people can't afford it anymore, and they're just simply putting on their credit cards.
I just took out a loan for basic needs and food. Like, needs slash food. I have never in my life had to take out a loan for the things that my home needs. I had to make the decision of gas or food, or somehow budget it and split that and get a little bit of gas and get a little bit of food until I get paid again. I said, there's no way. I cannot do this. I need to have a little bit more for gas and I need to have enough food. So Affirm has, its thing with Sam's Club. I was like, fuck it. Let's just take out a loan for our basic needs. I feel like this is not okay. This is not okay. We're fucked.
Now, I'm sure you've seen stories like this plenty of times before, but she even talked about it. Affirm, Klarna, all of these services are buy now, pay later, but they're just simply a credit card or a loan in disguise. People are just simply having a hard time, and unfortunately with the rising cost of everything, people are resorting to, putting it on credit cards and loans. See, they don't teach us about credit cards, loans, and interest, and how all of these things can work against us in the beginning. See, if they were to talk about all of these things in school, I don't think a lot of us would have these kinds of problems. Even when I think back at my first credit card, I was 18, I had $5,000, and I think I maxed it out in like 2 months, not knowing that I had to pay it back. For me, looking back on the whole thing, I know I was stupid, but it's one of those things that I simply didn't know until I got my annual balance in, and it said if I made the monthly payment or the minimum payment, which was $17, it was gonna take like 37 years to pay off. And that's sort of when I understood that just because it says minimum balance to pay, it doesn't mean it's actually gonna pay it off. And if you were to simply fast forward everything, today I use credit cards as a tool, and I no longer have that itch to just spend money. I pay it off at the end of each month, so I never have to worry about the interest. But I'm simply blessed to be in that position where I don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. But I feel like as an American, there are people out there who sort of unfortunately get trapped in that whole consumeristic spending guilt where they know that the money is available, so they have to spend it. And I'm someone who's relatively frugal. I understand my needs versus my wants, but most Americans aren't like that.
I get asked literally all the time how the hell I was able to accumulate $50,000 of credit card debt in like a 6-year span. But I was very naive with the fact of, I know I was going to be making more money, right? I was 18 years old, got my first job as a dental assistant, making $28,000 a year. But I was obviously spending way above my means. So when I got into $50,000 of debt, this was not like over a 1-2 year span. No, it started off small. My very first credit card, the limit was only like $250, right? And then as you start using it, they start to give you more credit. And then as you start to get more credit, you're like, oh, this is cool. Let me get another card. Oh, this one's got a cash back card. Let me get another card. And the next thing I knew, I had like 4 credit cards. I had like a Victoria's Secret card. I had an Amazon card. Like I had all these cards, okay? And I kept telling myself, I know I'm going to be making more money. I know I'm going to be making $100,000 a year. When I make more money, I'm going to pay these off. When I make more money, like I'm already going to live my life the way as if I was already making that kind of money, because I just knew it was inevitable for me. But what I did not realize is the more money I started to make, it didn't matter. That is when the big amounts of debt came in. I didn't have 50 grand of debt when I was 19, making $28,000 a year. No, when I started making over $100,000 a year was when it started to pile on so freaking fast.
See, now going into debt for the basic necessities that we all need to survive, everyone understands that. But simply the whole consumeristic spending, that's where we need to talk about. We oftentimes go into debt and buy things to impress people that we don't know or don't care about. Because of social media, we always see this perfection lifestyle, but we don't understand that until we get into the hole, that it was just a hole. Everyone else is just faking this weird society. And being someone that's frugal or prioritizes functionality, I always try to prioritize that over a brand. See, I don't care how good or how much a Gucci backpack is. It's not a quality backpack. You can't put things in it. There's no pockets. It's just wasted money. And I think there's a trend of seeing people flex on things like vacations or buying cars. And don't get me wrong, enjoy what you want to buy. Go on a vacation if you need it. But just know at the end of the day that you still have to pay that money back. And if you didn't have that money to go on the vacation, well, you're gonna be in the hole when you come back, making things even more of a stress. So understand that you have to limit yourself. Maybe not, go on a $5,000 Bermuda vacation. Maybe go somewhere local and spend only $1,000. Just understand that you need a stressor. So try to prioritize yourself for the future instead of prioritizing yourself for the now. Listen, you can live the life you want to live, but understand you have to be reasonable and look at your purchases and understand that you're gonna have to pay for this one day. And of course, everyone's gonna YOLO, but at the end of the day, you have to pay up. And I think I always come back to it, but social media has really ruined people. Everyone thinks that everyone's rich, everyone has this outstanding lifestyle, everyone has a white picket fence, everyone's living the American dream, but that's not the case. No one has this sitcom lifestyle. Everyone's struggling. Everyone has their problems. And if you know just that, how money works or how people actually spend money or how they make money or what they do with their money or how money even grows, you understand that once you start looking on social media and you start looking at the people around you, that you have to start questioning some things. See, I'm a pocket watcher. I think I've been called out on the channel as a D1. I'm trying to be professional, but I understand that money doesn't grow on trees. So a lot of people are either lying or doing something that I don't know about.
If you're in your 20s and you keep consistently seeing people and you like, oh my God, how are they doing all this? How are they affording all of this? Blah, blah, blah. And you're really confused and you're trying to figure it out. Is really one of two, maybe even three options. The first option is credit card debt. Maybe they swiping them cards. They swiping that card. They probably have $30,000 right now in credit card debt. But they're in Bora Bora. Absolutely. The second is rich parents. Don't ever underestimate the power of a rich parent. The third is they might be scamming. They might. Small might. And then the fourth, absolute and final, is that they're really just getting to the money. But that's very low on the total poll. It's probably credit card debt.
See, the story of people getting found out to be frauds after the fact, that list is probably a mile long. And I think that we need to actually start looking and try to project or understand the previous situations. Most people are just lying to, show this public image. See, people are actually just flexing that illusion of wealth just so you can give them their money, because that's essentially all of this is. There's a Ponzi, someone selling a course, someone selling a product. Now, don't get me wrong, there are good products. People can sell something, but you have to understand the perceived value. Does someone make a book now make it worth $500? No, I don't care what's in that book. Most of the knowledge that you can find can realistically be made with ChatGPT. And that's unfortunately what's being had. See, right now, there are even rappers who are just scamming and they're selling the idea of scamming, making it popular. Now, a while ago, I made a video about Punchmade Dev, but it's all realistically so bad as a society when you think about it. There are people who are scamming other people, and realistically, the people that they're scamming are simply living paycheck to paycheck. And while they say that they're attacking the banks, I'm someone who's had my identity stolen and I've had my credit cards frozen and I've had my bank accounts frozen. It hurts people. I didn't have access to my money for multiple weeks. So when you're saying that you're hurting the banks, you're hurting someone that's behind the banks, which is often the same person that's sitting next to you. And we're doing all of this in the middle of the eye of the storm of consumer credit card debt, with it now hitting like $1.2 trillion. And it's only gonna get larger because remember, banks make money based off you not paying your bills. And I only see it as the trend going up of people getting repoed, not paying their bills, or living in a crisis. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you like this kind of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. Peace.